to Hillbilly Deluxe Fabrication. Today we're going to be working on the John Deere 4052. We're going to get ready for winter. We got the plow in here. We got to put new ends on it. And we're going to go through the plow mount that I got on here. We're going to get the snowblower serviced on the back. We're kind of go through a little bit with this machine. I picked this up. Actually, it was right next to a barn that burnt down. So this whole side of the tractor kind of melted. The roof melted, fender melted, the hood, the side panel here. You can still see some of the bubbling. And I went and replaced the stickers, got a new hood for it, new fender, new top. You can still see a little bit of the melt that happened on the windshield there. That all happened during the fire. I had to replace this one tire. And, so I got it for a really good price. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to afford a tractor like this. And then I put all the money in, made it nice, put a radio in it. It was nice. When I had the headliner off, I noticed there's speakers up in the headliner already, and the wiring was all there. So I bought a radio, stuck the radio in, plug and play. That thing was good to go. All the wiring was ran for the antenna. I put some extra work lights on the back, put an air ride seat in it. I went full luxury on this. Went and hooked up rear remotes. It had the third function on the loader. I took the loader off. This is a Western plow setup. You take the loader assembly off, which is quick. You got quick connects on the other side. You just unhook those, pull the loader off, put this bracket on, and then you go right into the plow. So I got the plow wired up. We were already using it, but I want to use the plow headlights. So that's what we're going to go over today. And also, when I was moving some wood chips down the horse trail, I wound up getting a piece of rebar that went into the wire mesh here. And how nice the tractor is, I kind of want to keep it that way. So I got a new one from John Deere, this new wire mesh here. So we're going to replace that. And then we're going to go over, while we got that off, it's going to be easier just to work in there. So we're going to run the wire to tap off the headlights to the plow headlights. I'm not worried about making turn signals work or anything like that. I just want the headlights themselves to work. And then we got some glowing marker sticks for the corner that I think we're going to try to put on here. I got Potato in the garage with me. She's going to be helping me work on the tractor. So we'll get started on this. Let me kind of show you around. So over here you can see a little bit of blistering that's still on there, and the melt that's still in the windshield. I mean, those I'm not too worried about. I'm going to leave that. There's the hookups for the plow on there. You got the Western plow mount there. I got the power and the controller plug here. There's the V-plow setup I got with the markers that are broken off both sides. There's Potato. She's ready to help us. And then over here we got our quick connects for putting the loader assembly on. You can see through the window there. I went and put the plug down low and out of the way, ran the wire. So that's for the plow controls. And then off the rear, I got a snowblower. I'd like to get a bigger one. This is one that I had from one of my other tractors. So just when we get a lot of snow, I'll put this on just to move the bigger piles. We got rear hydraulics here. I also got a trailer plug kit that I'm going to stick on this another time. But for today, we're going to concentrate on the front. I'll show you what we're looking to fix here. So right there, we're going down the trail and kicked up a piece of rebar. And it went through. Luckily, it didn't hit anything vital on the inside. All it did was damage the screen there. But I'd like to have this tractor kept nice. So we're gonna get that part fixed. So let's get going with this. We're also I have a solution for the John Deere hood release, because you have to have a screwdriver or something to poke in there if you want to open the hood. So on the 3D printer, we're going to print out a print out a button that we can stick on there that will stay on there. So let's go check that out. I'm gonna get this print going for the hood latch. So we got the hood latch there. I'm gonna start our print. This is the Bamboo Handy Got a P1S 3D printer. It's going to download on here. Once it starts, I'll show you down on the printer of it printing. All right, I got a notification that our print is done. So let's go take a look. There it is. Let's go install it. So here's what we got printed. It's pretty simple, just a button with a hole in it. We're gonna have that permanently in there later, but it makes it a lot easier to keep that up and out of the way. So they kind of made this whole assembly pretty easy. They really make these compact tractors so easy to work on. Take a couple panels off. One quick release. Now that panel's off, that panel's off. Got a couple clips under here. What? That, we got the harness undone there. Yeah. Now, this whole thing will just slide right up and out.
I'll help you, Dad.
There we go. So that's out.
Okay.
So what we want to do is that button's going to go in here to help with this release here.
Okay.
And what we got to figure out the wiring for the plow, like what actual wires we need to hook up. I'm going to run everything for the plow. We got these plow lights here. So you got the amber for running lights, and then you got the headlight here. You got both of those. I'm going to just run both of these off of the same wire. So I know we won't have turn signals, but just both lights will be turned on as if these are running lights. And we just want is off of the back of those lights. Point to those wires there. We're going to tap off of the headlights. Each of the headlights where they go in, right here. We're going to make a simple harness that plugs into this. So that way, same way that this just slid off with a simple plug there, we're going to have the same kind of simple plug so you can unplug it when we're not using or if we want to take this off to clean behind here or anything like that. So in this large John Deere box, let's see what we got. In here is drop my microphone. Put that back on. In here we got the new shield here. So we'll get that swapped over. It was something that kind of didn't look the greatest after the fire, so I'm not really too worried about having to replace this. So we'll get this swapped over, and then we'll start working on the wiring. This is your box? Yeah. So to take this off, because I replaced this surround once because it was heat damaged. So we got a bunch of Torx. So we'll get those taken off. And then all the stuff that holds the lights on the inside, we'll get all that taken off. And all right, pull the trigger. All right. Oh, there's a couple more out here. Hold that. All right, so now we got that piece off. We got more screws over here to take out. Here. Oh, we got to switch this back to the other side. All right. Here. Yep, pull the trigger. Good. Pull it. Keep going. Hold that. Take our button off that we're going to print. All right. Let's see. Finish taking these out. There's screws here. Take these out. Here, pull the trigger. Good. Oh, where did that go? We'll look for it later.
No, we will. After the
Yep. All right.
pull trigger.
Not yet. All right, pull the trigger. Keep going. All right, pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. All right, I'll take these screws out. Those are longer ones that are in the headlights. That's it. All right, so now that's off. Now we got to just take this off here. We'll see how that's gonna. That's like a it's push-on clip style, but we'll see if we can unthread it. Oh, stand tight. Let me go grab a socket. All right, so we got this off. We're gonna relocate this onto the new one. All right, so now that's relocated. Now we could get this put back onto here. Wait, you're not gonna finish helping me? The last two screws in. All right, so all that's in. We got our 3D printed button. Seems like it'll probably stay. Let's see if we can well, that popped out really easy. Messing around on the inside. All right, well, that button works pretty good. Latch it, push, releases. What more do you want? Now you can do it without carrying a screwdriver or something with you. It'll stay right there. So that's all good to go. That's back together. This is all back together. So we got a couple of wires here. So this is wired for power to the headlights. And then there's also wires for a horn. So that's why we got 3 wires coming out of there. And then we got the wires to the headlights here. So it's pretty simple what we're going to do for the plow headlights. Once we figured out what wires we got to tap into, get the harnesses that I have. So like I said, I want to make it plug and play. So if I want to take this off just like I did here, I can unplug the harness. So what I got is these pigtails, and this is just a jumper wire that's going to go between the headlight and the headlight harness. And then instead of going to another light like this is supposed to, we're going to cut this and we're going to splice this into the lights for the plow, and it'll run all the lights for the plow. So we'll get this turned around so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So we got the harness coming in here, and then we're going to have, we'll unplug that. All right. Now this guy's going to plug into that. And then we'll plug that into there. Like that. So now, and then we'll zip tie this up out of the way once we're all set. And now we'll have the other wire go into this. So now whenever we want to pull this out, pop a couple more plugs. You know, we got one more plug we got to pull out of here. And then the plow wires are ready to go. So now over here on the plow side, I got my power wire ran to the plow, and then I got the control wire here ran to the plow. So that I just ran underneath. I was able to splice it, so that way I don't need a plow module. So this doesn't work like a normal, turn the headlights on, hook up the plow, then only the plow lights are on, the headlights are on. For this situation, I'm not worried about that. This isn't street legal, so I'm not worried about having, your couple of, too many lights on. I'd rather have more lights in front of me if I'm plowing in the dark with this. We got the ones up on the cab. We got those up there, and our turn signals are up high, so that's why I'm not worried about turn signals on there when I do ride on the road a little bit. For the aspect of like headlights, we're going to just have everything on all at once. So let's, we got already a grommet here with a wire coming through, so we're going to use that same grommet, run the plow wire up. So I just went and bought like a replacement truck side harness for a plow, and it comes with zip ties. So we got this spool here that will go to the plow, and then we got a ground wire, and then we got all of our wires to the plow here. So let's get this mocked up. So we got to figure out what lines here run what on the plow. So let's plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. So we got that plugged in. All right. Now we'll just tap ground and power maybe off of this wire, or we'll run back to the battery. Let's see. We'll get get the power probe. I like using the power probe. Those are really nice. Some people aren't a fan of them, but for doing mock lighting and testing and stuff like that, it's nice where you can induce power into certain circuits and ground. If you don't know what you're doing with it, you can definitely mess up and accidentally put power into something you're not supposed to. So you definitely have to be careful when you're using one of these. So for now, we're going to take this. We got our harness here. We got to get to the ground, which is going to be in there. So we should, yep, we got ground. So I could test my ground there. It tells me I have ground. And then here, I have all these different colors. So now we can go here, and I can start I could start testing the wires. All right, That's interesting. I can't tell if it's just a ground issue or if it's exactly what the issue is of why the headlights don't work. You see, that could be a turn signal. So we got our two. If we ever do want to hook up our turn signal, they are there. That's the brown one. Got nothing there. Well, that's interesting. I guess we'll just take one of these apart. We could see what color the wires are in there, and maybe the bulbs are bad. I don't know. I find it unlikely that both sides of the bulbs are bad. But let's take one of these headlights apart. All right. Now we got that out. Okay, so we should be let's see. Let's get our test wire here. So in here we got a black wire, a white wire, and a blue wire. So we'll assume that the black wire is our ground. So let's see if we have ground on ground, which we do not. So maybe that's the whole problem. So let's ground that. And then, I don't know, blue is my favorite color, so we'll go with the blue wire. We'll see which one that is. We'll see. We got light, so I guess we got to put we got to ground to the black wire, and we got to can't tell which one was brighter. I'm gonna probably run it with just high beam. Get the most amount of light out of it. Oh yeah, blue wire is definitely the one we want to be. So now that we're induced power into the ground through the headlight here, now we know. Let's see. So now if we go to this circuit, let's find our black wire in here. And we got ground. So we know that one's ground. And then, now I don't have a light blue here, but I got two other blue wires. So let's see what these do. So we got power there. All right, so we know our our black wire to the blue wire is going to be our ground and this light. And the white wire is the low beam over here. All right, I got my strippers. So I got two of these splitters. So one's going into this light. We'll zip tie that up out of the way. We got this other pigtail to this pigtail. So that way we can have this go to left and right on our headlights there. And then one of these sides we'll just, we'll run it to the running lights. So we're just going to cut off our ends. We'll keep those kind of long so we have extra pigtails there. So now we got our pigtail here that will plug right in the end here, and now it's our quick release of running lights. But it is backwards. Is that going to make a difference? Let's see. Our black goes to black, white goes to there. Okay. So our black's going to come down, go in. When it comes through this plug, it's backwards. So I got to just remember that on this one, our red is going to be our ground, our black is going to be our hot, just because, just how that plug works there. All right, we got all that. We got our 5 wires here. Let's get our connectors. I got these low temp solder connectors. I really like these. I'll put a link in the description. I get them off Amazon, but they work really well. So, like I said, our red is now going to be our ground. So we'll do a ground wire to a red. You just heat it up like heat shrink, and that solder melts, solders your connection together. Plus, it makes a waterproof joint. That's why I like them. And then the extra little band in there that signifies the size. So, like, these are green. So these are for 16 and 18 gauge wire. So these that band shrinks more, so it makes it a waterproof connection on top of it just heat shrinking. So it like really binds it tight. So we got our one ground there. Second ground getting soldered in. I think we're out of butane. Go find some more. Quick refill here on the butane. There we go. Back in business. All right. We got all of our connectors in, wired up, let that cool down, and then we'll feed this through that grommet. I guess we could just cut off all of that. We'll leave those along for now, just in case we got to use them for something else. I mean, we got our turn signals we can use here if we ever want to in the future. So for now, we're going to just leave this kind of long, and then just kind of coil it up on the bottom there, or excess. And then in the future, if we ever want to run the wires to something else, if we want to get the turn signals working or something like that, we can. We got Ryan from Ryan's Industrious Garage stopping in, bringing some cervezas. Always a good time.
How's it going up, Scott?
It's going.
All right.
I'm just finishing up the wiring, spliced into the headlights here with a little pigtail. Got a pigtail off the plow. Gonna run the plow lights off the headlights. All the lights. So many lights. Hayden was yelling at me because I pulled the truck in. I went to pull the truck in and I didn't clean the floor first. All right, so all that is wired. Now we're gonna we'll run this wire up that, leave it long so it goes. Let's throw this in place. That's gonna just slide down both sides. All right, there we go. So now, in theory, we plug this in, plug the headlights in. Cross your fingers. Let's see if this works. Oh! See, we got all the lights. Cool. So that is good to go. We can get that buttoned up. We'll finish. We'll pull that wire in so it's kind of the same length as all these other ones. Get that underneath there. Oh yeah, slides right in. Like it was made for it. Oh wait, kind of was. There we go. Let's hook up all our wires here. Cool. So in theory, the plow should work and the light should work. So we just got to run a wire probably from this headlight socket down. We'll see what those plow whips look like. We'll back it up a little bit, give us a little room in the front. Make sure everything still functions from 5 minutes ago. Let's see. Look at all the lighting. What? I gotta adjust those chains too. Pretty sure it's on float. Huh. Maybe it's not on float. Ah, not on float. That would definitely do it. See what happens when you actually put it on float? It does go down. It's crazy. Now, I'm gonna get these bad boys wired up. Somewhere over here, and same thing over there. Maybe we could just bend those over. Let's see what that happens. If we just bend that over, maybe cut that off, drill a hole in it, and then we could bolt that through there, and then we could run the wire. There's a hole down there. I don't know, somehow fish it up and around. I don't know how much I'm going to like that. All right, so I found these brackets, already painted red, luckily. So that saves me some time on paint. Already has a hole in the top. I was able to cut that, kind of bent, so it should be kind of strong enough to hold these at least. And it's not really much that it's holding. We'll get these clamped on here, drill the holes out. And we'll get them wired up. Yeah, that one marked. I'll get the other one marked, and then I'll go to the vise. I'll get over to the vise and drill them out fully. This one's actually got a secondary hole already in it. Let's get these drilled. Damn goat got in the chicken coop. Damn it, Jerry. No, you're not allowed in there. Alright, let's get back to it. Ignore the mess over here. Working on a couple people's chainsaws. And yeah, don't worry about that. That's another project we'll show you on another time. Trying to fix a grinder that was given to me. And I'm not talking about the meatball grinder either. All right, well, I'm not going to bore you with the wiring. I'm going to get these wired up. We're going to use the same heat shrink connectors. I got wire that's ready in a case. There's I got this. You know, it's got 2 wires in it. We'll get this ran. It's ready in a nice weatherproof kind of ish case here. We'll sleeve over it. Get that done. I'll show you what it looks like when we're all set. All right, thanks for watching the video of wiring up the plow. Me and Potato are gonna go plow some driveways. If you like this kind of content, leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Thanks for following along.